You are welcome again to our platform, Mariam Legal Consult. My name is ML Garba and I'm the lead consultant of Mariam Legal Consult. Uh, like I said, the last time we received a couple of messages, and my apologies, we have not reacted to all of them. But let me just tell you, we have this unique one that we will react to about a lady whose boyfriend broke up with her about 4 weeks to their wedding. He proposed to her about 3 months ago and she accepted. Then, about 4 weeks to the wedding, the guy broke up with her. What can she do? This is very unique and we are going to react to that. However, today we'll be talking about something relating to what we discussed last time, which has to do with landlord and tenant. If you don't forget, last time we spoke about a landlord who removed window and some fixtures on the house in order to eject his tenant, and also another tenant who did not want to pay his landlord because he believes that the period of notice will be free. We iron out all those. For you to get, in case you missed that, you can check our various platforms on Facebook, Mariam Legal Consult, or you can just type Mariam Legal, you'll see it. On YouTube, Mariam Legal. On TikTok, Mariam Legal. Then we are also on Instagram at Mariam Legal 23. The same thing on Twitter, Mariam Legal 23, and also Snapchat. You can visit all these platforms, share the videos, click on notification buttons. You'll see all the videos we did in the past, and also you will see more. Today, we'll talk about this notice. Somebody sent a message that we kept mentioning notice, notice, notice during the last video, during the last edition, that he wants us to explain further on this notice. What are these notices, and when should they be issued? How should they be issued? And must a landlord issue these notices all the time? Okay, in short, these notices are statutory. Statutory in the sense that the law provides for them. The law requires that when a landlord wants to eject his tenant, he must issue the tenant with what we call statutory notices. And the reason behind this is to protect the interest of the tenants as well. Because what usually happens is you will see a landlord will just wake up maybe from bad side of the bed or something like that, and just go out, harass and eject a tenant and throw their goods or properties on the road. So, in order to avoid situations like this, the law provides that you must notify a tenant before you eject him. And statutorily, we have two types of notices. One is quit notice, and the other one is notice of intention to recover possession. Quit notice is the notice that a landlord uses to terminate the tenancy, meaning to put an end to the tenancy agreement. Meaning that once a landlord gives a tenant a quit notice, at the expiration or at the end of that, the period indicated in that notice, it means that tenant is no longer a tenant to that landlord because there is no any relationship again. So the only thing for him is to find a way to leave the property, or if the landlord decide to reconcile with him and renew the tenancy. But at the expiration of that notice, at the period written on the face of that quit notice, they are no longer landlord and tenant. Then the second notice is notice of owner's intention to recover possession. This one is a notice that will follow a quit notice. When the expiration, at the expiration of quit notice, the landlord still does not have power to go and eject the tenant anyhow. He must still give the tenant what we call owner's intention to recover possession. This one is only 7 days. The period of quit notice depends on the agreement between the parties. If, for example, during their if they have a written agreement that guides the tenancy, maybe Mr. A is a tenant in the property of Mr. B, and when they wanted to start the tenancy agreement, they have an agreement that okay, if any one of them or if the landlord wants to eject the tenant, he will give the tenant quit notice of 2 months, for example. So anytime the landlord wants to give the tenant a quit notice, it has to be minimum of 2 months. So it depends on the agreement between the parties, the period of quit notice. However, if parties did not agree at the commencement, at the time the tenancy started, then there is provision of law that regulates, that provides for the period. If the tenancy is 1 year or 6 months, you have to give 6 months notice. If the tenancy is 1 month, you have to give 1 month notice. If the tenancy is weekly, you have to give 1 week notice. And at the expiration of this period, then the second notice will come to play, which is owner's intention to recover possession. That one is uniform, 7 days, is flat, irrespective of the duration of tenancy. So these are the notices. And of course, is it a must for you to issue them? For quit notice, there are situations when you don't need to issue quit notice. The only one you will issue is notice of owner's intention to recover possession. One of the uh, one of the situations where you don't need to issue quit notice is if the tenant is already in arrears of rent for about 1 month or more, for more than 1 month, for example. Especially if the tenancy is yearly, maybe you pay your rent on yearly basis. When your rent expire, the new rent you pay is what indicates that you still have interest to continue as a tenant in that property. So if your rent expire, let's say 31st of December, and you refuse to pay up to February, the landlord does not need to issue any quit notice again, because since you have refused to pay your rent for more than 1 month, it means you have not shown any intention to continue as a tenant. So what the landlord will issue you at that time is owner's intention, notice of owner's intention to recover possession. And again, if there is a written agreement and one of the terms, the tenant violates one of the terms of the agreement, usually in the written agreement, there is usually a clause that says that if the tenant violates one of the terms of this agreement, then the tenancy becomes terminated and the tenant will not be entitled to any quit notice. If there is such provision in that agreement, so anytime a tenant violates that any term of the agreement, any provision of the agreement, the the tenancy will become terminated, meaning will not exist again. And once the tenancy does not exist again, the only notice that a tenant will be entitled to is notice of intention to recover possession. So I think if there is still anything you want me to clarify, please kindly let me know. But so far, I hope this opens your eyes and mind to what it means to say quit notice and also notice of owner's intention to recover possession. But just lastly, in case there is the tenant still refuses to vacate the property after these two notices, the next step is to file an action in court for a recovery of the property. That is through what we call application for writ of possession. So that is the last stage. And after at the end of the case, if the court asks the tenant to vacate the property, then the court can compel the tenant to vacate the property. Even if he refuses, the court staff, we call them sheriff, they will go and remove the tenant's properties from that property and hand over possession to the landlord. So please, if there's anything you still want me to clarify, just let me know. Our handles remain the same on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. You can reach us on at Mariam Legal. And on Facebook, of course, you can write the name in full to search Mariam Legal Consult. Then on Instagram, on Twitter, at Mariam Legal 23. Like I said, please don't forget to share, click on notification button, subscribe, especially on the YouTube channel because you always have the full videos there. So please, then in our next video, by God's grace, we will be talking about the lady whose boyfriend broke up with her just 4 weeks the marriage. What remedies does she have? Stay with us and we'll talk about it.